Yeah, that's right. I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it.
Hello, Knicks family. Welcome to the Just Knickin' It weekly show. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen, joined by I am Jerrell of the Die Hard Giants Live. Ajay, the villain, Geoff Klafter from the Happily Ever Klafter Daily Sports Blog. And as always, you know, we have a lot to talk about. So we're going to start with the state of the Knicks just overall. And this week, we'll talk about Josh Hart's return. We'll talk about Kolek's DMP and what that means, if anything. And I was wondering if it was too early to talk about trades, but Geoff, you know, reminded me that the Knicks do their work early when it comes to trades, at least historically. So it's not too early. The Knicks are among a few teams that have checked in on Nick Richards, a center from the Phoenix Suns. We'll talk about that. I don't know how much we want to talk about Ja Morant, who's apparently Memphis is open to trading him. I'm not sure the Knicks. I mean, I'm sure they'll do their due diligence. I'm not sure if he's a fit. I guess we can spend some time talking about that. Anyway, before we start, how's everybody?
Great.
Yeah, salute Steph, salute Ajay, Geoff, salute to the chat. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here as usual.
All right. So the Knicks had a 4-game winning streak, and then we've won, 2 of the last 3? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Won two of the last 3. How are you feeling about the Knicks? Like, do you feel like they're back to their winning ways? Do they look like the team that you recognize, or do you still have some concerns coming off that 4-game losing streak?
I mean, like I already said before, like I try not to get too high, too low for the season, but yeah, we haven't looked good lately, especially after we got smacked by Detroit. But
have we been on this show since that game?
Yeah, because that was last Monday. We had a show.
Okay,
I forgot, but but that's where I was jumping out of the window because we was on a losing streak and we lost to Detroit and they're the number 1 seed, and it actually looked bad. Like they beat us by over 30, I believe, in that game. So then we go to the West Coast, play the Clippers. Well, no, we had a
Home game with the Clippers.
Yeah, right. And then we went to the Suns and the Blazers, and tomorrow we finish up and we have 2 more West Coast games. But the last ones that we had, the Suns and the Blazers, I mean, we looked like ourselves. I think Mike Brown shortened up the rotation a lot. We only played like 7 or 8 players, I think.
7 and a possible.
7
Somebody's a Spades player.
7 and a possible. And Josh Hart came back looking like Josh Hart, and he might actually be the most important piece to the Knicks, except for Jalen Brunson, because it seems like as soon as he came back, we was back to our hustling ways. We looked a little different with him on the team, but yeah, I don't say like the concerns and stuff. Like we're just gonna have ups and downs during the season, peaks and valleys. That's all I'm thinking.
All right. When you guys are giving us your state of the Knicks, you could talk about if there's anything encouraging or concerning, or if any players stood out for you, both positive or negative. So there's multiple ways to go about answering the question.
Okay.
Ajay?
Well, state of the Knicks is, I mean, coming off of a 4-game losing streak, that's kind of tough, man. I mean, that I feel like we haven't seen one of those in a while. I don't know when was the last time we saw one, but I mean, there's a lot of concerns still, and that's going to be the case until we probably either get our stuff together or make a trade to fix the roster, which in my opinion, I've talked about this so many times. I said I feel the roster is missing something, like structurally there's something not there. But with what we have, we just got to make do with what we have, right? There's been a lot of positives, a lot of negatives, but overall, the negative is defense, defense, defense. Our defense has been porous. A lot of times the guys don't even try. And sometimes even when they try, because they're not defenders, they're not in the habit of defending, you could see that it's just, I mean, the effort sometimes is there, but it's just like the IQ is not there, you know. And in terms of positives, there's been a lot of positive, man. One of the big positives has been the play of Deuce McBride. I mean, his shooting has been tremendous. Even though the last game wasn't great, but the last game, even though he didn't shoot well, but he hit the timely shot, like the important shots he made. He made them. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, as the show goes on, we're going to talk about in more details about the specific negatives, specific players, positive and negative for each player, and
you can get into it. You can get into it right now.
Oh, I can get into it. Okay. Well, Deuce McBride, again, he's been tremendous. His defense is still very good. His shooting, the uptick in his shooting has been amazing. It's been very helpful. I mean, it's almost like when he missed something, you're like, it shocks you that he missed it. His high arcing 3-pointer, you almost feel like it's gonna go in every time. Karl Anthony Town, the last few games, I feel he's been like a little bit smarter with the foul situation, but the aggressiveness is still lacking, man. He really needs to be a little more aggressive on offense. Like, I don't know the real reason, because I hear a lot of like on the shows and the podcast, whatever. A lot of people blaming Jalen Brunson. I don't feel that way. I feel like Cat need to be more assertive, more aggressive, and more efficient. In order for him to get the ball, like he's got to put himself in position to be part of the offense. He's got to put himself in position to be the number 2, the second guy on the list, in the pecking order. It can't just be you waiting for somebody to feed you. And if they don't feed you, like, find another way to eat. Grab the board, go for the putback, or there's all kind of ways you can, you can get you can get going on offense. His effort on defense has been a little bit, there's been a little bit more effort there on his part. And like I said, he's been, the last couple of games, it hasn't been as egregious in terms of committing stupid fouls. All right. Mitchell Robinson has been tremendous also. With his rebounding has been pretty good. However, his defense, like his real defense, hasn't been great, man. It hasn't been the Mitchell Robinson defense that we used to. He doesn't scare anybody. Nobody intimidated. Like, they go at him, and he hasn't been the shot blocker that we know that he's capable of being. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
how did he look to you the last game? Who did we play Sunday? Portland.
Well,
is that the game you're referring to?
Well, no. The whole stretch. Portland game was actually pretty good.
3 blocks.
He was actually it was pretty good in Portland. But then again, Portland, do they really have a true center, like somebody to go to bang with Mitch? You know what I'm saying? So you got to take all that into consideration, right? Like, who's he playing against? Because sometimes, like back in the day, Mitch would go against the best centers and give him hell. So he hasn't been the same defensive player, although the rebounding has been absolutely amazing. Shout out to Knicks Nation, Nick Nation.
Get it right.
Yeah, you get it right.
Because there's 2 of them. There's a Nick Nation and a Knicks Nation. You got to be careful. You're talking about the wrong guy.
Yeah. And other guys. Well, I want to leave. I'll come back to the other guys, because I do want to make mention of OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and maybe touch up on Jalen Brunson a little bit later.
All right, Geoff, state of the Knicks, either overall or this past week, whichever way you want to go with it.
I'm still a little bit concerned. I mean, overall, we're on a 50-win pace, which is good. I mean, that's right where we need to be. So from that standpoint, I'm ecstatic about that. I think we're about where we need to be in terms of wins and losses. But this team just doesn't seem like it's gelling properly to me. I don't know if it's a locker room issue or if it's just a personnel issue, but it just seems disjointed. And I think Nick Nation spoke well that Josh Hart kind of masked some of those things when he came back into the lineup the other day. But without Hart, you really saw how disjointed this team is. And the whole isn't really better than the sum of its parts with this group. A lot of times I feel like we should be able to do more with the talent that we have than we're doing right now. But again, we're still on a 50-win pace. We've beaten some good teams. When we're at our best, we look really, really good. When we're not at our best, look really, really bad. So it's kind of been a roller coaster
That's what I was
type
about
of the
to
season. But you know what? Even if we were cruising along, and let's just say we were in one of those historic runs, like we were, I don't know, like 34-4 or something like that, I would still be concerned, right? Because then you're talking about complacency, and does this translate into the playoffs, or are we just, last year's Cleveland Cavaliers part 2? There's always in a season going to be a concern because, we've got to get to the playoffs. We've got to make sure we're in the top 6, preferably in the top 2 or 3, so we get at least one home series, and then and then be ready, to win multiple series. And so you have a lot of those things that are future things, right? We can't say with any certainty where we're going to be with that, but the East is so tight. Like the Raptors are good, the Celtics are having a resurgence. The Sixers have gotten it together and have been healthy and are looking better lately. And that's just in our own division. Like that doesn't include Detroit. Trae Young is out of Atlanta, so they don't have a reason to have a losing streak anymore. Because they've played fantastic without him. I know that sounds like hate, but enjoy Washington, Mr. Young. But so there's a lot that's going on. I don't think that the East is as weak as maybe it's perceived nationally, and I think that the Knicks have a lot of work to do. We've got our work cut out for us. There's not anything easy about the season, about these games, and we're still trying to find the right combinations, I think. But that's what Mike Brown was hired to do, was not just rely on the same set pattern every night, but to, experiment, give these young guys some burn, see what they look like, and we've dealt with injuries too. Our best 2 point of attack defenders missed an incredible amount of time. And Hart missed some time, and Brunson missed some time. And I think Towns maybe has played under the weather some. So all things considered, I'm still high on the Knicks, but I would be lying if I would say I wasn't concerned about the Knicks. And I think we've got to, use these next couple games and stack some wins.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much I have to add to that. I'm with Jerrell in the sense of not riding too high when things are going well, and sinking really low when things aren't. I will say this though. I'm not one of these fans that feel like the Knicks have to win a championship in the first year. Like I really want to just see this team go through the playoffs so we can really assess this roster. It's hard to assess it in the regular season. So we can really assess this roster and get a sense of what we need going forward. I mean, can the Knicks win it? Yeah. I mean, if everybody is at their tip top best, yes, the Knicks can win it. Am I sitting here saying the Knicks are going to win a championship this year? I got to be honest, I'm not. I'm hopeful, but I'm not sitting here like an OKC fan and yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time. Let's rock and roll. Let's get to the playoffs. It's just a formality. The Knicks are going to the finals. Let's see. Like when we were on that stretch, and you really thought this was OG and this is Mikal Bridges, if you remember how well they were playing to start the season, I was like, whoa. Like if this is OG and this is Bridges, and we got Cat and we got Brunson, Mitch was playing for them. I was like, oh, we about to do this. But again, there's a difference between a streak or a stretch and an entire season. Right. And as the season is going on, we're seeing that both of those guys are up and down. We're seeing Brunson still having some process issues. We're seeing Cat not being Cat, at least the Cat we know. And so it's hard for me to be, I'm not down on the Knicks, don't get me wrong, but I'm not feeling like I felt when OG and Mikal was rolling, and I felt like they had turned the corner. And OG was this two-way player who we can count on game in and game out. You understand? Like now I'm like, I mean, if OG and Mikal, if they become those players again, then maybe. So for me, I'm just kind of sitting back watching. I like some of the things that Mike Brown has brought. But this roster is not perfect. But I don't think any roster is. And I think it's going to take more than just Mike Brown bringing a different offense for this team to win. I'm not sure the difference is just switching out Thibodeau for Mike Brown. I don't think that's the only thing the Knicks need to do. So I'm hopeful. When we're talking about a great offense, and your defense doesn't have to be as good if your offense is great. When I envision that offense with Cat being heavily involved, because even though he's not as efficient this year, I trust him more than I trust OG and Bridges. And so if Cat is where he is now, and I don't know how flowy this offense is going to be come the playoffs, right? I think a lot of it is dependent on Cat, if that makes sense, because he provides the space and he's a difficult matchup. If you got to pay attention to him and Brunson, it opens up so many things for us, So if he's not that, I'm not one of these fans who feel like we can win it with Cat being half-ass or Cat not being part of the offense or, Cat just being an equal opportunity with Mikal. Like, I just don't see it that way. This guy is super talented, and I get it. He could be frustrating at times, even to me. Don't get me wrong. But the version of Cat these last two games, I like. He's getting the ball. He's making plays. He's getting the touches. I kind of like it. Maybe there's a path forward if the offenses continue to run this way. But prior to that, I just don't see us winning the chip without Cat being prominent and dominant. That's so we'll see. And I go back and forth on this, Geoff, if you remember, right? I'm like, maybe a OG and a Mikal basket is just as good, just as good. And then I'll be like, nah, I think we need, I go back and forth on this. But as the season goes along and I see how Mikal Bridges and OG is kind of up and down, Cat just have he's struggling now, but he has a larger body of work that I could trust, even though he's struggling right now. Yeah. Any other comments? I know Ajay went into individual players. Yes, Jeff?
I just want to play devil's advocate with what you said for just a minute, because I think that it's important to realize that this year kind of is a unique window, because Tyrese Halliburton is out for the season in Indiana. Jason Tatum is allegedly coming back in April, but he's not at full strength. And so, Detroit still is playing really well, but they still haven't had that run where they know how to win in the postseason yet. The Spurs are a team with 3 19-year-olds that the older and stronger they grow and get better together, they're going to be a lot harder to knock off. And, the Oklahoma City Thunder are not going anywhere. So I can see where you say that you know, I understand what you're saying, and in a large way I agree with you, but at the same time I think the way circumstances are set up, this is kind of, the window is propped open a little bit wider right now than it may be in future seasons. So I really do think that the Knicks need to take advantage of that and not have a season where we step back and kind of waste a season of Brunson and Towns prime.
It's a process, Geoff. Like, I mean, winning a championship is a process. Like, I don't think you put a team together. And now you can argue that this isn't the first year, right? This isn't the first year. This is a continuation of last year. And I would agree with that, even though it's a new coach. But listen, you contenders or you not. It can't be we contenders when Halliburton is not there and Tatum is not there, and we got to do it right now because once they come back, we're not going to have a chance. You got to build a roster that's going to beat Indiana with Halliburton. You got to build a roster that could beat Boston with Tatum. It can't just be we got to squeak in right now because when those guys come back, we can forget it. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's a little more open when those guys aren't there, but other teams are stepping into their places. So I get it. But yeah, I get it.
I agree with that. I know we're thirsty for wins, right? We're thirsty for, but it's a little bit more satisfying or fulfilling when you know you are the best team, not just you're good because other teams were hurt. I mean, listen, you take the win as it comes, right? You play the team they put in front of you. If it so happens that you had a playoff run where every team's missing players, I mean, you take it, but you know, it's kind of good to know that your team is actually the best team, and you played the other teams, the other franchise's best teams, best players, and you beat them. Just saying, it's kind of a little bit more satisfying.
But listen, the Spurs is coming. I get what you're saying. Indiana's good. The question is, then this team is not good enough. Like if we got to squeak in this year because the Spurs are coming and OKC is not going anywhere and Halliburton, Indy is coming, and I get you, it's going to be crowded. Then that means that maybe the Knicks aren't good enough, and they have to get better. You know, and in a way, I think that I can see the best version of this team winning. The best version of this team winning. I could see that. But that's the best version.
Have we seen the best version of this team?
No, not even close.
I mean, during the streak, I thought the Knicks were playing some really good basketball. The ball was moving, the players were moving. They were not a great defensive team, but I don't think they're going to be a great defensive team anyway. The offense was smoking. Mikal Bridges looked like he was going to be an all-star. OG looked like he was going to be an all-star. They were looking pretty good during that period. And then the clock struck 12, and OG looked a little different, and Kel looked a little different, and it just started to look different. But you don't think that was the best version of the Knicks during that time when OG and Mikal were cooking?
I don't know. That's hard to say because I'm
playing well, but I don't think that was the best fully realized version of the Knicks. No.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about times from last year too, not just under Mike Brown, like how they looked. Like that's hard to say, like what their peak was. Everybody fully healthy, actually playing the best of their abilities at one time. I don't remember when that was, to be honest. But it could be during that stretch that you was talking about, Steph. I didn't really think about it until you said that.
During that stretch.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking like when do we have large stretches of wins like that? And it's how we're playing too, because we can lose games and still play better than some of the games that we win, to me. Yeah, that's like hard. Like until you said that, I didn't really think about that. Like when was the like the top of our play with this roster in the last 2 years since Cat got here?
Okay. Any player has stood out for you either positively or negatively?
For me, it was Josh Hart when he came back. I mean, he looked like, he didn't miss a beat. Like I don't know about everybody else, but the way that he played, he looked like he was fresh. I don't know if his time away helped his legs. Maybe that's why he looked fresher than other people. But like that was still hustling Josh Hart. Like he seemed like he was the heart of the team. Like he never missed a beat.
Were you surprised that he was inserted right back into the starting lineup? Deuce has started what, 1 or 2 games prior to that?
Yeah, but I wasn't surprised though, because during that stretch that you was talking about, I believe that's when Josh Hart was starting. So maybe Mike Brown was trying to get a little bit of that magic back, especially since we've been kind of down since he's gotten hurt. So I wasn't shocked that he got right back into the starting lineup. I think he should be, as long as he can go, like he can go, like as long as he's 100%, that he should be in the starting lineup going forward.
Geoff, Ajay, your thoughts on one? Were you surprised that he went back into the starting lineup right away? And is that a move that you agree with?
I was not surprised at all. If he's fully healthy, I'm not surprised that he went back into the starting lineup. And like Jerrell said, when he started, the good stretch is when he started, when they inserted him into the starting lineup. So that is definitely something I would continue to do until it stopped working, and we got to figure something out. But if that's what's working, that's what I'm going to keep doing. And obviously, you watched the game yesterday. His energy, his effort, his speed and activity, like all that, obviously impacted the game. You could say that's why we won that game. And he scored 18 points, like something he doesn't normally. Like, that's not his average, And he scored a little more on his first day back. So, yeah, definitely, that's something I would continue to do, without a doubt.
Okay, Geoff.
Well, one thing I'll say about Josh Hart that a lot of people may not realize is the guy's actually a playoff riser. He shot 37% from 3 in each of the last 2 postseasons. I think we tend to remember that first season because remember when he came to the team, he shot like 51% from 3 for like the first 25 games that he was here. And then he fell off a cliff in the playoffs. I think he shot like 31% for 3. And that was in the time when we were struggling so bad. But in the postseason, he really hit a lot of clutch shots for us. And I just think it's kind of funny that one of the heavy criticisms of Thibodeau was the starting lineup that Mike Brown has kind of settled into, right? And so he's utilizing it a different way, maybe, but I think that kind of does speak to the efficacy of it, or the potential of it, that multiple coaches see. Personally, I like the look with Deuce in the starting lineup because I feel like he's a better point of attack defender than Josh Hart is. But I understand there's a give and take there because Hart is such an outstanding defensive rebounder that changes the dynamic of what we do also. And I also think that Hart does a really good job when they blitz Brunson at half court, and he does a good job of making himself available, first of all, to get the pass, which Deuce and everybody else doesn't necessarily do. And then when he has that 4-on-3, he's usually able to attack off the dribble and find open shooters, or run a pick and roll with Towns that's effective, or do some other things that really nobody else on the team seems to do it on as consistent a basis as does Hart. And so from that standpoint, I certainly understand the decision to start Josh and play him the minutes that he is. And so I don't, and I've never really cared about who starts. It's more about who finishes, right? But I think that we've said that enough here that we're talking about starters' minutes, right? But what we saw, I think, in the Portland game, we saw starters' minutes from about 7 guys, right? So 7 guys were, and it wasn't the overload situation where Brunson and Towns are both playing 42 minutes and McCall is at 46. It was, everybody who played for like 35, right? And so that was kind of new. I don't think we've seen that a ton this year. Obviously, Kolek's minutes got phased out. Robinson played more minutes than he's played all year, and so a couple different things to watch out for there. But so I think that what we may see, the answer may be that we see a shortened rotation where you have you have 8 or 9 guys, but you have 7 guys probably playing 30 plus minutes, and then Clarkson getting a small sliver of the pie, and Diawara or Yabusele or Kolek as fill in as necessary, or as the situational piece.
Yeah.
That doesn't include Shamet, though, who's supposed to be back soon also.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about Kolek and the DMP. Yeah, I think in terms of McBride and Hart, we've talked about this. The thing about McBride is you get the shooting and the spacing. Hart is shooting better. I still don't think he gets the respect yet that McBride does, and it may take 3 more seasons of him shooting better to start getting that getting the respect. But if he continues to make them pay, at some point they're going to have to shift their coverage. But to your point, with the point of attack defense, is it really helps your 3-point defense because you're not in rotation. Soon as that guy gets past your point of attack defender, if they're not good and they get into the key, now you got to rotate over and you're leaving shooters, right? So having a good or side, listen, he's not going to stop everybody from getting in the key, but he's really good at it, and he's the best we have. It reduces the amount of times you're in rotation, and that helps your 3-point defense, right? And you do get the shooting and the spacing even when he's off. I do think his shooting is going to come back to earth. Because some of these shots, it's like contested shots. These are not open shots he's taking. So at some point, I do think that'll come back to earth. But overall, he's still a really good 3-point shooter and spacer for us. Josh Hart is just more dynamic. He's just, so they both bring something. Like Josh Hart get in there, he's an agitator. When the laundry, when the washing machine is on the spin cycle, that's Josh Hart. So it's I don't even think it's a problem, because to your point, Geoff, it's not about who starts. It's the fact that there's this lineup versatility that Mike Brown can go to, including the double big lineup, right? He can go to that.
Which has looked much better of late, by the way, and I've not been a fan of it, but it has been a lot more successful in this recent stretch. In the 2 games that we won, especially, you saw that Towns and Robinson are starting to figure out how to play together a little bit.
Exactly, the interior passing has been good. I guess anything else on the kind of the state of the Knicks? So let's talk about, and we talked about Josh Hart's return, and we talked about him in the starting lineup. Kolek didn't play against Portland. Is that much ado about nothing? Was that just matchups? He'll be back in the rotation, or do you think this is the beginning of spot duty for Kolek? And let me know in the chat too if you think he's out of the rotation. It was just a matchup issue, or this is the beginning of inconsistent minutes for Josh Hart. For Kolek, now that we're healthy, relatively healthy. Shamet is still out. Jerrell?
Well, he didn't play against Portland, but he played against the Suns, right?
He did.
Let me look up his stats for the Suns, because I think he didn't have
right.
I don't think he had a good game against the Suns. He didn't play that much. Yeah, 10 minutes, 2 points, 1 assist, and 2 rebounds. Yeah, he might be phased out. Maybe it had to do with Josh Hart coming back. like Jeff says, Shamet is coming back soon. So to be honest, he was that was the reason he was getting minutes in the first place. I don't know if everybody forgot. We did not think that Tyler Kolek was going to get that many minutes on this team in the beginning of the season. So I know he had
got in the rotation prior to the injuries opening the door.
Right. So I don't know, man. Maybe it could. I don't see why he would be in like the doghouse for Mike Brown. So maybe it was just a matchup issue. I don't see any evidence saying other than that. But I'm thinking maybe because, be getting some players back healthy and he's being phased out because of that, not because of like his play or anything like that.
Are you okay with that? Like, so I get what you're saying. The injuries kind of forced him back into the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
But when he got in, he played relatively well. Not every single game, but there was a stretch where he was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, he was solid, and he may have had like a game or two where he was But do you think he's showed enough that he should be a consistent part of the rotation when everyone is back?
No, I think he was playing well, but he wasn't playing lights out to the point that we're supposed to just forget about the minutes that, the people who got hurt is going to receive, especially when Shamet gets back. Like when Shamet gets back, I don't expect to see Kolek at all. Like when Shamet was healthy and playing, he was starting, and Josh Hart was coming off the bench, and Kolek was nowhere to be found. I think once he comes back, which should be soon, just like Jeff said, and I saw like a clip of him shooting around. I think it was yesterday. So yeah, I think he'll be back probably this time next weekend. Kolek will be not an afterthought, but he wouldn't be in the rotation at all, and people will probably, not talk about him for a little bit until another injury comes up.
Wow. Ajay?
I don't disagree. And it's not because he hasn't played well or he's not helpful. It's just that in the pecking order, there are players especially with more experience that Mike Brown's probably going to choose to put in the lineup instead of him. If everybody's healthy, I do not expect Kolek to get a lot of playing time. It's just because of like where he's at in his career and the amount of experience he has. He'll get some burn if somebody's in foul trouble or, if the matchup is really favorable with him on there. I think the coaching staff is going to be looking at that too, but it's not guaranteed at all. I don't think so. At least this season, let's see what happens next season. Maybe they see what they have in him and Shamet doesn't come back and it's a different structure. But right now, I'm not expecting, if everybody's healthy, I'm not expecting him to get a lot of minutes.
Does it make a difference, though, that he's a point guard and Shamet and Deuce and Clarkson are shooting guards?
It does, but what happens is because of so the players you have, right? So you got, and I think you like to point that out, Quinn. We have players that we don't have like all around players. We have players that can do certain things, right? So maybe like at some point you might have to choose. Do you want a point guard who cannot defend? Like it's not his fault that he can't defend. The effort is there, right? With the Kolek, but maybe you'd rather go with a Shamet who's a little bit bigger, longer, a better point of attack defender, can do a little bit of ball handling, not as good as Kolek, but so you have to give a little bit of something to get something, right? So you might want to go with Deuce and Shamet in the backcourt instead of a really great, like really good point guard trying to set the play, but you have great defense with those two guys in the backcourt. Right? So you probably gonna have to choose because you don't have the players that could do everything.
Jeff, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say that Jerrell and Ajay didn't already say. I think Kolek is bench bound. I don't think it's his fault. I think he's played really well, especially in the Emirates Cup final against San Antonio in that fourth quarter. I thought he was instrumental in us getting the win. I think he unlocks Towns sometimes in a way that nobody else on the roster does. He's very good in the pick and roll. His defense has been better than advertised as far as I'm concerned. He's a tough, gritty, hard-nosed player. Not the most skilled, but I don't think I think that's more of limitations physically, kind of like Brunson, than it is for a want or desire to be good on the defensive end. I think he tries really hard. He's got great court vision. The numbers say that we're not a disaster when we play the small lineup, when we have multiple small guards, whether it be he and Deuce or he and Jalen or he and Clarkson. All of those lineups tend to be, at least they don't kill you at the very least, is what I'll say. But there are just some times when there's a pecking order, and the guys who are in front of him are clearly better than him at this stage of their career. Unless you just are really desperate for point guard skills at a given moment. But that to me screams situational. I think the point of attack defense that we get from Shamet and Deuce is far more valuable and necessary to this team than anything that Kolek can bring right now.
So we just talking regular season. You already know how I feel about the playoffs. So we're not talking about the playoffs. We're just talking regular season. I think Deuce and Shamet is a duplication. I listen. I have no problems with a Kolek Deuce or Kolek Shamet. That he can get those guys better shots than they're taking when you have a Shamet, Deuce, and a Clarkson. Yeah. Those guys are two guards. Those guards are two guards. And I guess in the regular season, you can get away with it. And in the playoffs, I'm not playing Kolek. I'm playing him spot minutes, but he's not a regular part of the rotation for me in the playoffs. I guess you can get away with those three in the in the regular season. I just don't think you're just not getting the vision, the ball movement. You're just not getting it with those guys. But again, I think you can get away with it in the regular season. I think overall, though, they are better than Kolek at this point in their career, but it's just different skill sets, though. They don't have what Kolek has. They just don't. And Kolek's defense has been better than Brunson's, in my opinion. He's a better defender than Brunson right now. Yeah, but it looks like, as to me, that Mike Brown can't wait to get the veterans back, and I really think him playing the young players is really about the front office, the mandate from the front office to get these guys some time, more so than it's about Mike Brown wanting to play them and develop them. But it is what it is. I agree. I think Kolek is out of the rotation. I think he will get spot duty. Mike Brown does a really good job. Even Yabusele was on the bench for 2-3 games, and then he got him back in. I think that helps confidence. It helps players feel like they're still a part of it, that they're still going to get minutes, that you're not going to be banned to the bench forever. So we will definitely see Kolek again. I just don't think he's going to have a regular part in the rotation. And I think he just brings something that it's just a duplication with Mitch and with Deuce and Shamet. Yeah. Because both of them are not guarding the point of attack at the same time. Right. It's only one of them at a time. So let's see how it goes. Anything else on Kolek?
I think you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. Let's get to the chat a little bit. Anagro 1, appreciate you. Kolek is insurance. If there is an injury, his time will come down the line. Yeah, I will say this. I think he's shown enough that next year, to Ajay's point, or maybe the year after, I think next year, he might be Brunson's backup. They may not bring Shamet back and may have seen enough to feel like by next year, he could legitimately be Brunson's backup. What do you guys think about that? Or from what you've seen, you don't think
I think that's definitely in the cards, and I think that's the idea, right? Is to be able to phase some of those other guys out and be able to rely on some of these younger players, and you hope that guys that like McCullough and Huck Porty, over time can make that leap. And then even the kid who we don't even have on the team yet, Dink Pate, I think is another guy who they're looking at down the road. Not right now, but down the road, 2-3 years down the line, because that's really what development is, right? You have guys in your system for a couple years and they don't play much. And then, you wake up one day and you have Jordan Walsh and Neemias Queta in your starting lineup, and your team is, much better than anybody expected them to be because they've been in the system and they're ready to play.
Rick James says, nah, Kolek is already like 30 years old.
He's not that old.
He's not that old. Come on.
Like 24. He just look old.
Yeah.
He
doesn't
look old either.
Yeah, he looked like a substitute teacher, AJ. He look a little old in the face. Like he look a little old in the face, though. He don't look 24. He look a little older.
Walter White, Kolek has handling and shot creation for others. Once he gets the shot going, he'll be the backup. Keep Shamet and free West 4th Street Jordan. Anna Grill feels Kolek is ready for rotation, but not with this deep team just yet.
That may make him a nice trade piece, right?
I mean, this is the thing. And if you listen to James Dolan's interview, he said, development is both. You're developing them to play for you, or you're developing your growing trade assets. Either way. All right. Size 9, McCullough will be Shamet by next year. Okay. Rick James, Shamet was playing like our best point of attack defender when he was healthy. Okay. A-Train, I like him, but I think Kolek's minutes going the way of the floppy disk.
Sad part is everybody on this panel and in the chat knows what a floppy disk is.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know about everybody in the chat, but some of them may not know what that is.
I said Kolek's defense was, I guess, better than Brunson's about a month ago, and people ignored me. Okay. Mitch and Deuce are the only two I will play in the playoffs. I guess off the bench. I'm pretty sure he means. Okay. JJ, opposing teams always pressure Kolek because they know he doesn't have great handles or quickness. They do pressure him, but I think he does a good job of of getting around it. I'm surprised at how he's able to get into the key. All right. Okay.
Queen, we only have 26 likes, man. All the people watching, man, hit the like button. Let YouTube know you enjoying this.
Right.
Shout out to A-Train for reminding me. And when I read A-Train, I that's when I hit the like button on myself. But
Towns is the main concern on this team. Okay. Meaning what? That he's not playing well and we need him to?
I don't think he is. As a matter of fact, I don't think he's the main concern. I'm not worried. He's not the one I'm worried about the most, I should say.
Oh. Okay.
Who's the one you're worried about the most?
Thanks for asking, Geoff. Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges to me is I don't know. He's some games he played like he disengaged, like he's not interested in the game. And I don't understand that coming from a professional ball player. You can have one of those games every now and then, but he's had two so far this season. He has so many games where he seems like he doesn't want to be bothered. Like he's shying away from contact. He's shying away from the shot. His defense is subpar. Like the guys he's checking are the guys who are going off in the game. He's not hitting his shot. He's not looking the shot that he's good at, the mid range. He's not. I mean, he's been okay with from 3-point also. He's not aggressive. He's not trying to shoot the ball. There are too many games this season. There's been too many of those games from Mikal Bridges. I'm worried about him the most.
Maybe our expectations was too high, because I'm thinking Bridges is just being Bridges, playing within the flow of the game. He get the shot, he get the shot. If he don't get the shot, he don't get the shot.
Being
Move it along. If somebody else is open, he's not gonna, press the envelope. He's not a good point of attack defender, and people get on him about that. But the reason he's in that position is because Brunson is worse, right? And OG is too big. So he's put in that position. Everybody got on, Tom Thibodeau for putting him in that position, but he's in that position now as well until McBride or Shamet comes into the game. This is Bridges, right? It seems like. Yeah.
You're right. Maybe our expectations were too high, but I expect them, like some games, you expect them to take over, man. You expect, Brunson's have a bad
I
game.
do too.
You expect, because he was that guy. I mean, in Brooklyn, he was the man. In Phoenix, he was not. He was like third option maybe in Phoenix, but he was like a real serious third option. You know what I'm saying? But here, like you said, it's just if it happens, it happens. He's not, he's kind of disengaged, and I'm.
Yeah. Who is that? East Blue Drew. Mikel's been okay. You will get a random 20-point game. Yeah. Rick James.
His shooting's been really good, though, Ajay. I think he's shot the ball much better, especially from 3-point range this year. And I don't really care about the volume as much as I do the percentages. Like, if he's going to stay at these percentages, I'm more than okay with him taking the good shots and making them than taking a lot of shots and not. Right. And so I actually am pretty happy with Mikal Bridges this year. Maybe I'm in the minority there, but I definitely think that, when he's allowed to not have to be the primary point of attack defender and he gets to roam a little bit like Anunoby does, I think he's deadly. I think he gets a lot of steals and a lot of blocks. And we saw before Deuce got hurt and Shamet got hurt, we saw a ton of that, right? And he was putting up, like, if you had him on your fantasy team, you were loving it because he was getting 3-4 stocks a night. And then now that he's back on, been back to guarding the point of attack more, those stocks have gone downhill. I agree that the games where he takes very few shots, like 4 or 5, and disappears are frustrating. But I think that they're fewer and further between this year than even last year. So Bridges is not the guy. I'm confident in Bridges. I actually like what we've gotten from Mikal this year.
So the thing, Geoff, is his percentage probably better, but I think he's passing on too many good shots, right? So if you're shooting better, in my opinion, you should take more shots. Okay, because if you hitting them, why not take them? I say the same thing about
because increase in volume doesn't mean that a steady that doesn't mean your percentage is going to stay the same.
Geoff, what's more important, your percentage or the fact that you're trying to score the basketball? Like, I can't worry about the percentage, right? So if the shot is there, take it. If the shot is there, he's passed on a lot of open shots. As a matter of fact, lately, OG Anunoby has been passing on a lot of open shots also. So I don't know what's going on with those guys. Like, wait, they need to be a little more aggressive. Those guys can shoot. Those guys, they can score, those guys. Mikal Bridges, to me, needs to take more shots. He needs to be more assertive, like take more shots, because he's a very good offensive player. He needs to be a little bit more aggressive. And that only, not just a shot, but if you're taking them, God forbid you're hitting them. Now that gives the defense something else to worry about, right? They can't double up on Brunson because they know there's so many other weapons that they have to worry about. It opens up the game for everybody else. If Mikal Bridges is aggressive, if he's taking shots and making them. You know,
I hear what you're saying, Jeff. Sometimes, you have a player who's shooting efficiently at a good percentage, then they start taking more shots and the percentage goes down. But I just want to see if that's the case.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Is it gonna stay the same, or is it gonna get? We just don't know because he hasn't done it. I understand that. That makes sense.
I just feel like he's too lazy. I don't know. I just feel like he has the game. I feel like he has the game, and he's just content to.
I would rather Towns get 18 shots and McCall get 12 than them both get 15.
Yeah, I get that. But listen, with this offense, when it comes your way, shoot it. Because I mean, listen, this is a ball movement team, so a lot of it really depends on how the defense is playing, right? You have to read it. The shots is going to vary for game to game. When it's all said and done, yeah, Towns should have the second most shots on the team, but on any given game, it depends on, if you're open, how the team is playing, who they're leaving open. It depends on a lot. There's a lot of times Mikal Bridges just passes it along when he could take the shot. I don't know. All right, maybe that's just me. I just think that he needs. I would like to
think it's to the level of Josh Hart last year, where he's just refusing to shoot. Because that I definitely don't see that. But I'm just wondering.
No, he's not there yet. But I mean, sometimes you wonder, like, what is? Where's the confidence?
The same. It's effectively the same. Okay. I think with Hart, it just looked bad because he would really hesitate. Bridges just smoothly passes, along, but he's still not taking the shot.
Both him and OG are shooting less this year compared to last year. I just checked. They're both pretty much.
So hard to believe because they just look like they're more involved than they were last year.
It's not by that much though. Both of them is 2 less shots a game, pretty much.
I thought they was taking 5 more shots than last year.
OG Anunoby is barely cracking 12. It's 11.7 shots a game. That's not that much.
His scoring average is down considerably, isn't it? Right. Down 2 or 3 points.
15.6, 2.5 points. So that's a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot.
But you could see it. I mean, without looking at the stats, you could see it though. Just watching the game, Joe, you could see that they're passing on a lot of shots.
And that is true too. They are playing less minutes. Last year, OG was at 36.6. It's 4 less minutes this year, which is a lot. And Mikal Bridges is pretty much playing 2 less minutes than last year. 4 less minutes from OG is a lot. So maybe that's why he's not shooting enough. But
4 less minutes and 3 less shots, though, is a lot, right? That doesn't seem commensurate with, that seems like a steeper drop off than what you would expect.
It's not proportional.
Thank you, AJ.
Queen, that brings us to that thing that people talk about, right? Jalen Brunson should be passing the ball, right? He's passing the ball, but these guys are not shooting the ball. He is passing the ball.
Yeah. I've seen that. I've seen times.
But again, I'm saying this I'm not looking at any stat. Just watching the game, right? You just feel the game. You watch it. You realize he's passing the ball. These guys are not shooting the ball. And if I'm the point guard, I'm like, let me try to score. If nobody's trying to score, man, somebody's got to try to put the ball in the basket.
But isn't the idea of the Mike Brown offense to pretty much eliminate the mid-range and shoot all your shots from 3-point range and from and layups? Isn't that the philosophy that we're going with? So is it really a surprise that the guys who shoot mid-ranges are getting fewer shots, or am I just missing the point here?
Jeff,
I would have to look at the shot diet and see, is he taking less mid-range shots than he took last season? I guess I'll go to cleaning the glass and check and see if his shot diet has changed. But that's when he's a good shooter. I get what you're saying in terms of it, not being as efficient a shot. But when you're shooting it at 89%,
Right. Just for giggles, I wanted to check
yes,
Cat. He's actually playing 3 less minutes and taking 2 less shots,
that's all.
averaging
Maybe it's the
3 less
touches.
points. It's probably the
Maybe
touches,
it's the
yeah.
touches. Maybe it's the
For one, he's shooting way worse from 3. Like last year, he was lights out. He was 42%. This year, he's only 35, which is still good for a big man, but not good for Karl Anthony Towns.
Is he taking in terms of volume, he's taking more 3-pointers this year or less?
The exact same, 4.7 compared to 4.8. The exact same. Just making a little less. When it comes to threes.
He needs to take more shots to get in rhythm.
That's Ajay's answer to everything. Just take more shots.
Jeff,
it's
that's how you win games, man. You put the ball in the hole, man.
It's the twos that it seemed like all 3 of them, arguably who the second option is on the team, all 3 of them are taking 2 less shots a game than last year.
So is that Brunson's fault?
I don't know. Let me look up Brunson.
Yeah, is he taking
Hold on.
6 more shots? 6 more shots? He's taking 2 from
Brunson's
each one of
shots
those
are
guys?
up probably by 3 shots a game. I'll say.
By 6. He's taking 2 from those guys, from each one of those guys.
All right. Brunson is up. Obviously. He's up pretty much 3 shots a game.
That's what I thought.
Last year. He's shooting more. Playing the same amount of minutes, 35.
But I think his shot diet has changed. I think more threes this year, more catch and shoot shots this year.
You're right.
Yeah.
2 more threes, but he's shooting them pretty much at the same clip. So that's why his average has gone up. Because he shoots more, but he's shooting them pretty much at the same clip as he did last year. So he hasn't gone down at all when it comes to percentage.
I do want to get to the replay gang. I was able to see some. Oh, I thought I had it here. I was able to go to the comments today and answer some of the comments, and I picked 3 comments from the replay gang that I want to put up, and then we can comment on them. So this is cool.
Kiorian
Jones, 5428. This is Jeff. When we did the Portland recap, this comment was under that game. We are maximizing Cat. He's not maximizing himself. He has the ball all the time to do what he wants. He flops in the paint all the time when smaller people are guarding him, and he forces drives from the top of the key to the rim and doesn't know how to switch up different moves. He's an all-star and better act like it. So he sounds like he's a little fed up.
That is not my burner account, Queen. That was it. That's not me.
He's a little fed up with Cat. He said he doesn't want to hear about him needing more shots. He has the ball all the time and does what he wants to do.
Man, that's Ajay Jones, man.
That is not me.
So is his usage different? What's Towns' usage this year? Usage percentage compared to last year?
Do you have that, Jerrell?
Nah, I don't have the usage. I just
that would be if you go to Basketball Reference, it would be I mean, that's not the only place you could find it, but
I'm on that now, but I don't see usage though.
It's in it under advanced stats tab. Oh, maybe. Whereas the defensive rebounding percentage and offensive rebounding percentage and all that, there's a usage percentage.
Okay. Yeah, under advanced. I got it.
26.
Find the column. And how does that compare to last year?
27.4. The last
so his usage is down. Like you can't, his usage is down, so that doesn't jive with what with what Mr. Jones is saying.
It's that 1.4.
That's considerable from a statistical standpoint. It's not like it's 0.4. It's over. It's 1.5%.
Okay.
I think it's a lot. For one, he's shooting way worse than he did last year. I think that's the main thing when it comes to Cat, not like the amount of touches. Like I think he's what he's doing with those touches. He's like 52 compared to like 47% from the field in general. So that's a huge fall off. 52 compared to 47. That's not like Cat. He hasn't. This is the worst shooting season of Cat's career so far.
Absolutely, and it's a puzzle to me why.
Yeah, it's not even close to. Like his closest one before that is like 48.6. Other than that, it's like 50 and up pretty much.
What's he shooting again from the field?
47.
Wow.
And his effective field goal percentage, I think, is down like 6 or 8 points from last year.
Yeah, he was shooting 52%, like 53 if you round up, but 47 this year. That's huge. That's a lot. 42 from 3 compared to 35. That's huge. Like that's a lot.
Wow. All right, let's get to the next one. This is by, I don't know why I put it in blue. Ben said LGK. This is the weekly show when we were talking about Brunson being a championship guard. Okay. And we were talking about, was it Geoff or Jerrell brought up possibly moving him to shooting guard?
I do.
Okay. So he or she said, I think we can buy really low on Lonzo Ball in free agency. He's run down right now after missing 2 seasons, but I believe he's a good player who can contribute when he gets into gear. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts to clean up his rep towards the end of the season to the point where he could plausibly start again. He's a unique combination of tall, defensive, playmaker, and affordable. Now, I mean, from your lips to God's ears, I don't know if it necessarily has to be Lonzo, but that prototype of a tall guard who could play besides Brunson and behind him, I think it comes down to if you get a really good one, would you be willing to part with a Mikal Bridges? Because right now it's Mikal Bridges who's playing. Well, right now it's Hart, right? When they announced the lineups, they announced Hart as the shooting guard and Bridges as a small forward. Mm-hmm. With either Hart or Bridges to bring in a guard like that to start next to Brunson.
Lonzo's part of the ambulance gang, so I wouldn't want him specifically. Like I like the idea of Lonzo Ball and the archetype for sure, but specifically
that's what we're talking about, the archetype. Like, would you be willing to give up a Hart or a Bridges for an archetype, a real good one? We're not talking about a Tyus Jones.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Tyus Jones would be fine too. I don't think you would have to give up a Bridges or a Hart to get a Tyus Jones. But if it's like the DeJounte Murray type or some other type, you would.
Well, if Murray was healthy, I'd take him in a heartbeat. I don't know that we'll ever see the best version of DeJounte again. I think he's may be in the Lonzo Ball dustbin at this point. But hypothetically, theoretically, if you can get a guy who can a combo guard who's comfortable at playing the 1, that can move Jalen to the 2 at times, the Eric Snow type of guy, or a little better, that may be what this team needs to get the most out of themselves. I'm not sure, but then the question is, how does Jalen do when you move him that far off the ball? Like, we haven't really seen that. I don't know. I don't think. I'm not saying it can't work, but it's something he probably hasn't done since his Dallas days, and he wasn't close to the player and as a Maverick that he is now, I would argue.
Yeah, I think if you have 2 point guards, two guards, I think they would be interchangeable. I don't think that Brunson would have to just not touch the ball and ever bring it down. or never initiate an offense because you have another guard. But I think the question is, would you be willing to give up a Hart or a Bridges for a player like that? Like, do you feel like that would elevate this team much more than having Bridges or Hart on this team?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted that archetype. I like Anthony Black coming out of college. We actually had a chance to get him and we didn't. Castle, I knew we didn't have a chance with getting Castle for the Spurs. He was drafted too high, but that type of archetype is what I've been looking for this team. So if am I willing like to trade that archetype for Bridges?
Or
Sure. Or Hart. Sure, but it's almost like I think we would have to draft one. Like one would have to be coming out of the draft.
Though, I don't know if they would be ready.
But how many players of that archetype is on your list in the NBA right now? That's a
and then how many of them are actually available for trade? Like
exactly.
If you have that archetype of player, you generally want to hold on to them because they're super valuable.
That's exactly why I wanted Anthony Black, because I knew he wasn't going to be like a high pick like that. Like even if he didn't fall to where we was going, we could have at least tried to go up to get him. He wasn't going to be like a top 5 pick like Castle or somebody like that. But we didn't get him. But that is the type of archetype that I'm talking about.
Does that give us a better chance of winning a championship, you think?
Absolutely. A tall guard that could pass the ball, that could play defense. I don't see why it wouldn't. I don't see why it would hurt us. The only thing, that archetype usually isn't a good shooter also, because if he was a good shooter, he'll be a superstar because he can do everything. So that other than, that archetype not shooting well, that's the only thing, the only hurdle of having somebody like that in the lineup. I don't see why it would hurt.
Your thoughts, AJ?
I would love to find one, but like Jerrell said, usually they're not as good. They're not good shooters, but yeah, I would definitely go for that type of play.
We may have to go with a low end player that comes off the bench, that we can have the option of running lineups with him playing next to Brunson or behind him, similar to what Mike Brown did this year with Kolek, right? There were lineups where he played with, but he came off the bench. I'm not sure we're going to be able to find a high-end starter that could start next to Brunson, but I think it's important. To me, that was more important coming into this season than Clarkson. Clarkson fell into their lap, so and we needed bench scoring. So in that respect, it was a good move. But if it was up to me, I would have looked for a guard that can play with and behind Brunson as the number one concern in the offseason for me. All right, one more. Replay gang. Rodney, thank you for the name. Simple. Rodney 13579. This comment was the loss versus Atlanta, the Hawk Porty game, I call it.
Okay.
The inefficiencies that you guys speak about proves that this team, as constructed, is not a championship team. Not this year. We have to get more athletic. This is Sherman's burner account. We have to get more athletic. This team will continue to have injuries as long as we have unathletic players. These guys will continue to get hurt because they're asking their bodies to do things that they aren't capable of doing. Athleticism is key to winning in the league, and we don't have.
I don't know if I blame players being unathletic is the reason why they're injured, but I get what he's saying. We obviously do need to be more athletic, though. Like, I get it.
Oh, yeah, I think it would. Athleticism would help. I do think it's. How many athletic players we've seen with like low basketball IQ, right? So you gotta. It's not just athletic, right? You got to be athletic with some basketball IQ. But I hear him.
And the athletic ones are the ones that get hurt the most. I don't know if people notice. Like it's the non-athletic ones that seem like they play, until they in their 50s or something like that. Like Al Horford couldn't jump over a quarter since he was like 26. He's still balling. Like, but yeah, you could be able to jump over a Jeep and be out of the league by the time you're 30.
Yeah,
Just
but
depends.
at least if we're more athletic, we'll be able to match the other teams, man. You realize those are the kind of teams we have problems with. The teams who have size and athleticism and speed, like they run circles around us.
Mhm.
Yeah, Queen, yes, they do.
Did the Spurs run circles
I'm
around
about to
us?
say we beat teams like that too.
Like,
We
I
beat
think we're
Atlanta
cherry
too.
picking our examples here.
No, we beat teams like that. That doesn't mean we lose every time, but I said we have problems with them. It's harder to beat them. It's harder to compete with them.
Well, those are the
That doesn't
best
mean we
teams in
don't
the
beat them.
league, though. Mostly, I mean, let's be honest here. Like, it
Not just
helps
the
to have
athleticism.
athleticism.
Right. They're good teams. Right? I mean, Washington is athletic too. They're just not a good team. So it's more than being athletic. Jabroni, I would say it's funny that these guys only want to comment when we lose. When we win, you don't hear a peep out of these people. So I went through the comments today and people commented whether we won or lost. I just chose this particular comment because I thought it was interesting. But shout out to the replay gang, whether we win or we lose, they listen to the show when they can and they comment.
Yeah, they comment on the shows, and we do a show whether we win or lose. So they usually go in there and drop a couple of comments.
I think that's just people in general, though. Like if we're losing, like I mean, how many negative comments we gonna read in the chat opposed to like words of affirmation? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what people want. Like even if we're on a winning streak, we're still going to talk about the concerns of the team during that winning streak. Like that's just the nature of what we have to do up here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. The last thing I want to let's get back. Shout out to the replay gang. I'm gonna do my best to when we get to the chat portion to include you guys. You guys always, support. So I appreciate that. Okay. Too early to talk trades?
We talk about that job trade that's going around, or trades in general.
And trades in general. We could talk about that too. But do you think it's too early to talk trades?
Nah, when exactly is the deadline?
February 6th.
February 6th.
Oh, it's not even it's less than a month away.
I'm about to say, so no, hell no, it's not too early. I didn't know it was on the 6th. I thought it was after the All-Star break. It was before.
It's before, and I think Mikal becomes eligible to be traded on February 1st.
Right.
Or February 2nd because of when he signed his deal.
Yeah, so that's
shout out to Lee Escobedo for reminding me of that. My understanding of the CBA is really good. I don't know how calendars work very well. So I thought he wasn't eligible to be traded, but he in fact will be the week of the trade deadline.
Okay, so the 5th is 2.5 weeks.
Two questions. Do you think the Knicks will be active? Do you think they should be active before we get into particulars?
See, we have like the Leon don't be playing, man. You never know. Like with this team, we think we dead in the water when it comes to trades, but then bam, we get OG Anunoby for RJ and IQ. Like you never know with this team. Should they be? I mean, yeah, if you want to improve the team, but will they? I have no idea. I kind of have a feeling we're going to stand pat, but if there's obvious holes of this team and we see them, I know Leon sees them too. So
do you think they should?
Yeah, if they want to improve the team, yeah. Because we like if us on here is saying that this team has holes, it's their job to figure out what those holes are. Like we're not the only ones who see that. Like, I hope they would know that we need another creator on this team and trying to figure out how they can get that creator on this team. Like, that's what they're supposed to be doing. So, yes, we should make a trade if that trade is going to prove to make us better. I'm all for it.
Can I ask a question to the
Unless
panel?
it's John Morant. But, it depends on the trade. You know what I'm saying?
Can
We'll
I
get
ask
into the particulars, but yes.
Okay.
I have a question to the panel and to the chat, right? From the core group, and by core group, I mean obviously the starting lineup as we presently have, add Mitch and Deuce to that, right? That's the core group. Which one of those players you willing to part ways with in a trade? Obviously, a trade that's hopefully going to make the team better, but which one of those players you willing to part ways with? Queen?
I'm willing to
Oh,
part with
one.
anybody that's gonna. You mean between those two? Just
No,
Deuce?
between those 7. I'm talking about the starting lineup plus Deuce and Mitch. Which one of those one player? Give me one name you willing to part ways with.
You don't think it depends on who we're getting?
Well,
It depends on who we're
it
getting.
depends on who
I'm
we
willing
get,
to
but-
depart to part with any one of them, depending on who we're getting. Bridges, Mitch, Deuce, Shaman. I don't think anybody. I mean, he's on minimum. He'll be a free agent.
Yeah, but he's not one of the core guys though.
He's not one of the core guys. Okay. Yeah, Towns. Depending on, and depending on who we're talking.
Yeah, I'd trade anybody.
I would trade. Yeah.
I don't care.
Depends. I guess you would have to give me somebody like a player, then I'll be like, am I willing to give up this play for that? But I'm willing to give up anybody depending on who we're getting back. If at the end of the trade I could say we're a better team, I'm happy.
All right. So none of those guys are untouchable.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Well, and keep in mind too, you got to look at contracts and next season and aprons and all of those sorts of things. So, that makes Mitchell Robinson more vulnerable than he otherwise would be, because I think in a vacuum, this team doesn't really want to deal Robinson. But with the reality that he's going to be a free agent next season and we can pay him, but do we want to go into the luxury tax just to hold on to Mitch? Is that with his injury history and everything else? Now, we've seen at times he can be a dominant performer even in the playoffs, but he doesn't do it consistently. So can you get an approximation of what he brings in terms of value at a lesser, more cost-controlled salary that keeps you underneath the second apron? I think that's a conversation I think that the Knicks are going to have, whether we want them to or not, right? And it's always been something they've done. Look at Julius Randle when he didn't have his extension. Look at Emmanuel Quickly when he didn't have his extension. So I think you have to take seriously the Knicks' history here. It's not that we've never let a player go into free agency. We certainly did with OG Anunoby, and we signed him. We weren't able to extend Hartenstein, so we lost him. And we just couldn't pay him much. That won't be the problem with Robinson, but do you want to pay 3 times a guy's salary in taxes and go through all the other punitive things for a guy who hasn't shown he can play 65 games in a season, and we don't know if he's going to be available for the playoffs? I think that those are questions that you have to look at seriously. And I think the problem is that his skill set is so unique. There's not really a guy who approximates who Mitchell Robinson is, in my opinion. And I think that kind of keeps him here longer than, and makes him more willing to play chicken with his contract, as for lack of a better phrase. But if we end up losing him for nothing at the end of the offseason, that's really going to sting for sure. But so it may just be about it may be about maximizing our flexibility for next year and sacrificing him as a player. But if you do that, you've got to get somebody back who can fill in adequately at the 5 spot, because I don't think I don't think I'm comfortable with who we have if Mitch is not there right now. Are you?
I mean, if Cat is playing the 5, the person who's coming in to play behind him would probably be Hulk Porty. If you think about what's on the trade market, I don't know. Depends on who's available. I need like specifics. I'm okay with Hulk Porty. I mean, you're asking him to come in and rebound and be active. You're not asking him to come in and he's gonna play what 12 minutes a game. I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Well, to your point, Geoff, the Knicks checked in on Nick Richards, them and other teams. They weren't the only one. The Celtics, Nuggets, the Raptors. Nick Richards is in Phoenix right now. He's out of the rotation. Not sure if you want a guy who can't be in the rotation in his own team, but we know who Nick Richards is. And sometimes, they're out of the rotation for different reasons. Doesn't mean, they won't be an asset to your team. Were they just doing their due diligence? Were they looking for protection, injury protection with Mitch? Or were they looking to trade? Are they looking to your point, trade Mitch because they're not going to sign him and they don't want to lose him for nothing? What's your thoughts on the Knicks calling around for center help? Do you see that as just due diligence, or what do you make of that? Whether it's Nick Richards or anyone else.
Are you asking me or
whoever wants to go? Let's start with Ajay.
I think they've been watching the show. That's plain and simple. Because they hear the calls. I think a lot of times on this show, we've said, the consensus that we need backup bigs because we can't rely on Mitch, and some of us prefer when Cat plays the 4. I personally feel that we need a power forward. That's my thing with this team is we don't have a real true power forward in like the real 90s kind of power forward. I don't know if they even have those in the NBA anymore, but that's what I think we're lacking. But nowadays they call them bigs. We need a backup big. I think we need that more so than anything else on this team. But and that Queen, I know you think we need another ball handler. But they just been listening to us.
I think we need a big too, and another forward. We're not getting that. We not,
We can't get both. So
yeah. Before we get to Geoff, because Geoff seemed like he got a lot to say, we might have to put the spotlight on him. Shine a light.
Please no.
Jerrell, what do you think? Them calling around for a center, what does that signal to you?
That just means Leon doing his job. Like I said, I think this team will never, the roster would never be 100% set with this team. I don't think any roster should be 100% set on a good basketball team. I think you're always going to try to get better. And with all the reasons that Geoff said about Mitch and his contract, shouldn't he be on the phone trying to get another center in here? It kind of makes perfect sense to me. I like Mitch and I don't want him traded, but I believe what Geoff is saying. It kind of makes sense for him to be making calls.
Go ahead, Geoff.
It's kind of funny. Part of me thinks that we're going to be pretty inactive. I think that we could make a trade along the margins, but the problem with those margin trades is those are guys who aren't going to be in the rotation, right? And you may have to stack 2 or 3 players for one, and that gives you other problems about staying underneath the apron. And so, that kind of deal seems a little bit unlikely. There's not a lot of great players out there to that you can move Yabusele for. So I don't know that I just don't know that there are a ton of options out there right now, unless it's just something from out of left field. But we know that this front office does that, right? Just when you think it's safe to go back in the water, we got McHale and we thought our roster was set. I don't think anybody expected the Karl Anthony Towns trade, or very few. There were a couple, but I don't think anybody expected the week before the season, and boom, here it is. The Josh Hart trade, I think, took a lot of people by surprise. Certainly Jalen Brunson, by his epic, famous reaction when he found out. So this team is going to do their due diligence. They're going to look under every rock. They're going to kick every tree and make sure it doesn't have bees in it. And they're going to look at everything, and they need to, but I just don't know that there's a whole lot out there. And I think if you do see the Knicks stand pat, it'll be more because there wasn't a deal.
Yeah, internet is breaking up. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Really? He's coming through me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, maybe it was just me. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just don't know that there's going to be a deal to the Knicks liking that's out there. But I don't think they'll be afraid to pull the trigger if one shows up. So
when it comes to Mitch, I think the Knicks should trade him at the deadline. You're going to lose him for nothing. The Knicks are not going to, I don't think they're going to re-sign him. And I think this is a tough situation to be in, because I like the lineup versatility that Mitch gives us. When you could play him with Cat, behind Cat. We talked about something similar I would like for Brunson, but at least for Cat, we have that. But you can't count on Mitch being here for the playoffs. He's in bubble wrap. Though the last few games he's played 25 games. 25 few games he's played 25 minutes, so he seems to be working his way into shape. But I'm with Geoff. He's impactful rebounding wise. He's not as impactful defensively consistently as he was in years past, but he's still impactful defensively. And you can run some of those lineups out there with a McBride and an OG and a Mitchell Robinson. That really helps our defense. And there's times when you need lineups like that. But context matters. Are you extending someone who's not playing in back-to-backs, who's playing 17 to 25 minutes a game, who has a significant injury history, who, if you go into the second apron, you can't replace him if he does go down? Now, the Knicks might be in the second apron anyway. Then that's a different, then that's different. So if you're not going to extend him, then you need to trade him and get something for him. That's where I'm at. And listen, you could say a Nick Richards is not as good as a Mitchell Robinson. I agree with that. But a 18-minute player or 20-minute player and somebody that can play 30-plus games and be there over the course of the season, that's something I would take. That's something I would take. Let's see what happens. Knicks Nation pay Mitch 4 years, $46 million, fully guaranteed. I'm not. That's just where I am. I'm not.
I don't think the Knicks are going to do that, because it handicaps them too much, or it forces you to make other moves unless you're using them as fungible salary. But again, if you go over the second apron, you can't aggregate salaries in a trade. So I think a deal like that for him is not in the cards. I would be stunned if this front office and Brock Aller handed out that kind of a contract to Robinson.
Rich is going to want 18, but he's going to want 18 million based on what? Like, he's going to, I guess him and his agents are going to talk about how impactful he is when he's in the game. And then the Knicks are going to say, well, how often are you in the game? So, I mean, they'll work that out. I would move on, and the players you get, Gafford is available. Nick Richards might be available. They're not Mitch.
Gafford's available?
Mavs are retooling like that. They're looking to trade Davis. I think they're just looking to get younger, be spry with the salary cap and, build around their younger core. So he could be available.
Aren't they stuck with David? You think somebody gonna pick him up? Anthony
I don't know.
Davis?
Atlanta, maybe.
Man,
He's talented enough.
Man.
Although I don't know, he just had news about him. Maybe not now because I think he had serious injury news.
He got hurt again.
So that may.
If they say he's going to be back come playoff time, I could definitely see somebody trading for that Anthony Davis.
I think that's accurate. Please don't let it be us.
No.
Go ahead, Ajay.
That was it. What?
Say what's on your mind.
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Oh, okay.
I highlighted something. I highlighted something, Queen. You know. Yeah.
Is this one?
You know that was me, right? you know, I highlighted that one, man. Shout out to Kadeem. Shout out to Kadeem, right? we need Precious.
Salute to Precious, man. We're gonna see Precious soon, man.
Yeah, we see him tomorrow.
We see him tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kessler's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, he done. He was on my fantasy team, man.
That stinks.
We're down early too.
I would trade Mitch for. I don't think.
Yeah, I think
that doesn't work salary cap wise, so it doesn't really in a vacuum. If you could, sure, but
Mr. Glass. Well, it's one glass for the a beer glass for champagne, a flute for champagne glass.
Mr. Glass.
All right. Yeah. Let's see. I think the Knicks are going to make a trade, and I think the Knicks have to think long term, not just this season. And Halliburton, Tate, this is going to be it's going to be difficult for the Knicks to win a championship in the next 3 to 4 years.
Yep.
And I don't think this team right now is it. Things can break right. Don't get me wrong.
Queen. One of the core guys is going to go in that trade that they making. I could.
But don't you think if things go wrong this year that we're going to make a strong push for Giannis in the offseason and that we're going to save our chips to potentially be able to make that trade in the offseason? That certainly seems like something that a Leon Rose front office would do, at least to be in the conversation. You have more available. You could, and the thing about it is, if you do the trade on draft night, for example, you can still be under this year's collective bargaining rules. And then if the trade is official, then you could go over into the second apron and perhaps re-sign a Mitchell Robinson because you're probably going to be over it anyway in the following season. So there are different salary cap maneuverings that can happen in the offseason. We would have 2 first-round picks available on draft night because we could trade our own once we make the pick, and then that other pick will become available that's the furthest out. And so that allows for a bigger move, even if it's not Giannis. If there's another player out there, he's just the most obvious one, and so that's why I'm bringing him up. But I don't think that the Knicks are going to do anything that would preclude them from being in that sweepstakes come June, July, whenever it ends. So I think they'll be conservative from that standpoint. But to your point, there's a lot of moves that they can make that keep them in that running if they want to be.
Yeah. So Brahim said he'd keep Mitch for this run and let him walk in the offseason. He's too important to trade him for peanuts. Okay. So just use him for this run and then let him walk.
But if they trade him, they're not going to trade him for peanuts. If they trade him, they're going to trade him for someone who they think is going to impact and help them right now and give them more financial flexibility. That's the MO of this front office. They very rarely just flip a player. They'll do it with draft picks some, but they very rarely just flip a player and not get back something they want out of it.
I don't get the part where he's too important to trade him for peanuts, but then not important enough to just let him walk in the off season for nothing.
Yeah, that's why I don't get that part.
I'm a bit. It's too important to trade him for peanuts, but then you let him work for nothing. Like
unless you really think that this is the year to win the championship.
okay,
If
so
not, then you have to trade him for peanuts because I'd rather have peanuts than nothing at all.
Then nothing. That's yeah.
The Flying Grayson. I'm with Geoff. I'm with Geoff. Cat and Brunson should be chucking shots, and we should be okay with OG and Bridges taking 13. But mostly I want 4 scripted plays that end in a Brunson to Cat goal. Yeah, you could throw. I'm with Geoff and Ajay.
But Geoff don't want that though. Geoff want Mikal Bridges to like take it easy. Don't let your percentages go down, man. Chuck them up.
Yeah. Maybe.
I just want Mikal to take high percentage shots. I don't think I ever said
I want them to shoot.
Don't shoot. Not all shots are created equally, and I would rather him take. If he's going to take a shot, I want him to take a good shot for him because I don't think he's if you're talking about mid range, he can make some of those, but I just think that modern NBA, you need to take good shots and the highest points per possession shots whenever you can, and that's just how the league is right now.
What do you guys think about this? Knicks Nation 1127. We pay Josh more than Mitch currently. We think Josh is more impactful than Mitch. It is not rise for Mitch or wise for Mitch. 4 years guaranteed money is to keep Mitch under the 18 million. I mean, you guys can comment on this, but I will say, Knicks Nation, that availability matters. Right? We're not talking like if you were talking about Hart being available for 82 games, Mitch being available for 82 games. Now we can talk apples to apples, orange to orange, like who's more impactful. But when you talk about somebody being impactful for 16 minutes, 40 games a season, and somebody being maybe less impactful in 25 minutes, 80 games a season, I mean, availability matters. So, yeah, I'm not paying Mitch. But what you guys' thoughts?
Well, I would stop at thinking that Mitch has a stamp on this team more than Josh Hart. I don't believe that. So you could throw the rest of it out for me. Like I think Josh Hart is way more impactful for this team than Mitchell Robinson is.
100%. I agree with Jerrell.
So because of that, like the rest of it, I mean, I can answer the question, but it really doesn't matter. I don't think that. So
do you think he's more impactful because he plays more minutes, or it doesn't have anything to do with minutes?
I mean, they're obviously both impactful because of what they do individually, but like as a whole, we look like a completely different team without Josh Hart compared to what we look like without Mitch.
Last season, right? He only played 17.
Right.
He was big in the playoffs, though. But yeah, that's.
I don't think he was as big as Josh Hart was, though.
Plus, we've seen the last 7 games or whatever it was without Josh Hart. We looked miserable at times, and then he comes back and then against Portland, and all of a sudden we look like ourselves again, right? And he's not really he may end up being a 25-minute game player, but he's more like a 35-minute a game player, and a reliable starter as opposed to Mitch, who's sometimes there, sometimes not starter. And I hate this because it makes me sound like I don't like Mitchell Robinson, and he's literally my favorite player on the team. So
yeah, because I'm not saying that Mitch is not impactful. He's clearly impactful. Like other coaches have to strategize with him with the Hackett Mitch and everything. So he's obviously impactful, but us not having Josh Hart, we look like a completely different team sometimes, like just the way we play. Like schematically, we just look different for some reason.
Nick Nation, if Mitch goes, it's a package deal. His importance would demand a high impact player. But again, Nick Nation, you got to think about availability. You got to think about, so another team is going to give up their high impact player for somebody who's playing 17 minutes a game and who's injured a lot. You know, I'm not even sure how much we'd be able to get for Mitch. Again, we're thinking about Mitch at his best, and we're not factoring in availability when we think about Mitch.
We're not factoring in the other team.
And we're not factoring in the other team and what the other team may want. And I get it. Mitch is impactful in his 17, 18, 20, minutes, particularly when it comes to the glass. So I get it, but
Queen, I got a comment, man. Shout out to Size 9. Size 9 said Hart and Mitch gotta go. Like two of our top 3 rebounders gotta go, and so much of our game depends on the rebounding. That's a sure shot. That's a sure way to win right there. Man, shout out to you, Size 9. Mitch and Hart gotta go. Like, where we getting rebounds from? OG?
Hey, OG's been rebounding better.
Yeah.
Queen spoke that into existence, so props to her. She talked about it early in the season, and it's manifested. So yeah, I'm on board with that.
Mitch and Hart gives us like maybe 18 to 20 rebounds a game. Nobody's gonna make that up, unless you bring in somebody who's gonna do it.
And OG, like, he rebounds like he scores, like it's in spurts. He's averaging one more rebound a game than he did last year. Yeah. It just looks better for some reason.
Jamrock, always, Mitch does have a massive impact with way less minutes than Josh, though. Wouldn't say more impacting. Mitch be getting some top forwards season average into it. I understand what you're saying, but our team's going to pay for that.
Yeah, because the availability.
I get what you're saying. But our team's going to say, you know what, he's getting it in just 20 minutes, and he has to sit. He can't play back-to-backs, and he may not complete the season. But when he does play, he's super impactful. Let's sign him to $18 million. You got to factor that in. He is super impactful. And you can argue that he's impactful because he's only playing 17 minutes, and that it's impossible to get that type of impact in 30 minutes, because who's playing out of their minds like that in 30 minutes, right?
I mean, unless maybe Leon can try to sell to teams that they're holding Mitch back holding his minutes back a little bit. They could, I guess, whether they're doing that or not, they can always say that. Obviously, the other team will talk to Mitch and see what his side of the story is, but
okay, and I think that's fine. I think if Nola is going to pay for that, he will. Break forever. We will appreciate Mitchell Robinson. No, I appreciate him when he's here, but context matters. The CBA matters, right? So you got to take everything into consideration. He's not available consistently. I just don't get it that people are just willing to give Mitchell Robinson an $18 million a year contract and hope that he stays healthy and hope that he can play, I don't know, 60 games.
Steph, he's the longest tenured Knick. I'm pretty sure that's a big reason. I think people are just attached to players.
You know, a name that you might keep an eye on who's not really playing much in Houston right now, who does a lot of Mitch things, is Clint Capella.
I remember you mentioning that last time. Yep.
I'm not saying I love Clint Capella or anything. I'm just sometimes you got to read the tea leaves and see what's available and who you could get who does the things that you would want them to do. And Capella checks a lot of those boxes is all I'll say. I like Andre Drummond too, break forever. I don't think Philadelphia is trading us Andre Drummond under any circumstances.
Right.
Like they're trying to win too, and they've got Joel Embiid.
Why are we even talking about that? It's not Philly didn't.
Go ahead.
It's not like Philly said that he's available, like he's up for trade. Like, I don't even know why fans are talking about that. If I'm Philly, I'm not trading Drummond to the Knicks
because currently he's a backup big that's not playing. So
yeah, but We're division rival, man. They're not sending him.
I get it. And with like Embiid's health, just like Geoff said, they shouldn't trade him. But I get why people are trying to say that, yeah, I trade for him because he's a big that's not playing, that's healthy. But
and for one, Mitch is more than a rebounder. Mitch is more than a rebounder. Interior defense plus the rebounding. Mitch can play more minutes. They are preserving him while lowering his market value. Why are they preserving him?
And lowering his market
because of his injury history. That's why they're preserving him. I just don't like. He's injured a lot. That has to be part of the the equation.
Or what they're saying is they're preserving him so they can lower his market value.
I think it's I read it as like they're preserving him for the playoffs while also lowering his market value. It's how I read it.
Oh, yeah, it could go either way, I guess.
This is the business. Big men get hurt often all over the league. The grass isn't always better. We wanted Kessler bad. Where he had things happen. They do happen, but when they happen over and over and over and over again to the same person, you got to move on. You're right. Anybody can be injured. Like we could trade for Mikal Bridges could get injured tomorrow and he's an Iron Man. You're right. It can happen. But Mitchell Robinson is consistently injured. I think that's a difference.
Yeah, Mitch has only played over 65 games twice in his career. The last time was in 2021 to 22 season.
COVID.
One time, KD.
So 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
KD tripped over the 3-point line. You get hurt.
Right. Anybody could get injured. No doubt about it.
Jay stupid. He tripped over the 3-point line.
Remember he literally tripped that over nothing. Like the
I remember that.
line.
I remember on Sports Center. I was like, what the hell? Looked like magic.
If Mitch was healthy, this is not even a discussion.
Yeah, this is not a discussion at all. We wouldn't be talking.
This is not even a discussion.
And he'd make a lot more money if he was healthy too. Like matter of fact, if Mitch was completely healthy, he might not even be on this team. We probably would have had to get rid of him the last contract. I don't think he would have signed for 50.
Probably has an Isaiah Hartenstein deal at a minimum, you would think.
Right. Like if he was fully healthy, Mitch wouldn't be on this team anyway because he'd make too much money.
Andrew K., I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with Mitch's impact. I'm not arguing with, him being a difference maker in the Boston. Like I'm not arguing any of that. I'm saying right now the Knicks have to make a decision on extending Mitchell Robinson. And they have to take everything into consideration. And for me personally, I would not extend Mitchell Robinson despite how impactful he is in his minutes. That's all I'm saying. I'm not taking anything away from him. I know what he brings. I know his limitations. If you heard me 2 years ago, I'm different on Mitch now because the team is different, right? But 2 years ago, it's untenable. Like we can't have Mitch, RJ Barrett,
Randall,
Randall, the Bam Bam unit.
Yeah,
like
we
you
used
just
to call,
can't. You just
we used to call him that. Yeah, we used to call him that.
But now that you have Karl Anthony Towns, it's different now because if he's limited and teams try to take advantage of it, you just change the lineup. You know what I mean? Now for me, it's about the fact that he's injury prone and the Knicks have to, if the Knicks are going into the second apron anyway, then it's not that big a deal. But if they're not, I'm not going into the second apron to sign Mitchell Robinson for his impactful 18 minutes. That, truth be told, defensively, he's not the same guy consistently.
Agreed.
He's not.
Absolutely. I think that's absolutely fair to say. The eye test at least backs that up. Maybe the defense. I would be curious what the DPPM or whatever they call it stats say. But from the eye test, he certainly doesn't look like the same impactful defender that he had been. With the Portland game, not outstanding because he had his game where he looked more like himself against the Blazers, but doing that consistently, that's not something we've seen in 2026.
Why y'all want to bring that up? We wouldn't even talk about how he was playing. You really want everybody to hate us right now. We want to actually talk about his play, but yeah, Mitch isn't. He hasn't been the same. But
Rick James said, "Forget Mitch. I'm not going into the second apron with this team." Period.
And I don't think the Knicks are either. Rick James. I think that Leon Rose and company agree with you 100%. And I think the idea, Jeremy Cohen did a really good cap or no cap on this. If you have a chance and you're interested in that sort of thing, I highly recommend him. He's one of the Knicks film school guys. Nowadays you don't want to pay repeater taxes. So you'll if you're going to go into the past the second apron, you're probably only going to do it once, and it's going to be with what you feel is your maximum team. So I think if the Knicks are going to go in as a second apron team, it's because they've made a big trade like a Giannis acquisition, and then they're going to do what they can to retain the players that they have because they can go over the cap to sign them, over that apron to sign them and go all in. But if they're not going all in, they're going to try and maintain their flexibility as long as humanly possibly. And that's the right way to do it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. This is a hot topic. This is where I am. But, everybody is has different takes. That's why we do the show, right? All right, Knicks Nation, I'm gonna give you one last time. I am extending Mitch before extending Josh. The lack of the right players makes Josh's impact look different. When we had IQ and RJ, where was Josh's impact? That right now he's impactful.
I don't know. When he first got here, those two guys were on the roster, and Josh's impact was massive. Like, do you forget those first 25 games of that season? He was incredible. He looked like an all-star. It didn't necessarily translate in the playoffs, but everybody stunk that playoff season except for Jalen. But Hart's impact with those two was massive.
Yeah. Knicks Nation, you're not concerned about Mitch getting extended for 14 to 18 million and playing 40 games a season? You're one of those as long as he's ready for the playoffs? All right. Okay.
The chat is funny.
I mean, if you see anything and you want to put it up, you can.
No, what game are these guys watching? What games are they watching? Are you guys watching those games?
Good old Taj.
Yeah. I mean, listen, to me, it's not about his impact, right? We know I've said enough. Jerrell, anything you want to add
about Mitch?
Oh, wait, there's a reply.
Or add, yeah.
There's a reply to this one. Can I post it?
Yeah.
Mitch, I gotta be smoking rocks.
I think
they killing me in the chat.
For all the reasons we already said, we're cool with Mitchell Robinson being on the team, but if you're going to just let him walk for nothing, if we're not going to win a championship this year, you should be trading Mitch. And anybody else.
Nothing.
And it's not just Mitch. If any other player in that situation on this team is like that too, if you're going to just let him walk in the offseason because you can't pay him, it will be smart to trade him before the trade deadline. That's for any player, not just Mitch. It's not a Mitch thing.
I gotta step off, guys. I've got a funeral I've got to do in the morning, so I've got to get going. And
Anyway,
Right, Jeff.
okay, appreciate you,
So,
and a lot of love, Jeff, from the replay gang. A lot of condolences in the comments.
I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you. This collective is very important to me, and it's not just words. In my mind, it's an actual thing. I love this family like they're my own family, and I come from a great family that's really close, and so to be able to extend that to this world and this universe is pretty incredible. And shout out most of all to my fellow panelists, Jerrell, Ajay, Queen, but also the chat has been so generous, and so many others. And I feel the love and I appreciate it. And your prayers are welcome, and they're necessary, and they're helping. So please don't stop on my behalf. Queen, thanks for the opportunity. Let's get a couple wins this week and keep going.
Yep. Yep.
Salute, Jeff.
Salute, Jeff.
Salute.
Right.
Later, guys.
Take care, man.
Appreciate you. All right. Guess we could get out of here too. Shout out to.
No, before we do predictions.
Oh, yeah, we got
on what the games.
Yeah, the games.
Hold on. Let me bring them up.
Sacramento tomorrow, Golden State Thursday, and then Saturday, or I think it's Sunday.
Saturday, Phoenix.
Saturday, we're back home for Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Monday, Dallas.
He
he lost his mom about a week ago, Andrew K.
Yeah, but we got 4 games.
Oops. Get that.
We actually have 5 games, because if the next show is Thursday, we have 5 games.
Right. You're right. We got 5 games until next Thursday. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Play the Suns again at home. Hopefully we get that back.
Jeff,
Work.
What's that? Jerrell, what's that hopefully nonsense, bro?
so you going 5-0 straight out the gate. I got to talk you into a loss.
Dub. Straight out. We're going on a 5-game winning streak right now.
Who are the 2 teams next season? I mean, next week before we play again?
We got the Kings, the Warriors, the Suns, the Mavericks, and the Nets.
Oh, okay.
Right.
We can win. We can win those 5 games, man.
We definitely can.
We definitely.
Those are 5 winnable games.
We definitely can. And with impactful Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson, we should be good.
Don't tell size 9 that. The 2 guys he wants to trade.
Impactful Hart and Mitchell Robinson.
The only uncomfortable here is Golden State Warriors, because we played them. That's a back to the night. There's no break in between, right? We play Sacramento tomorrow, and Thursday, the day after, we play the Warriors.
But we got 2. At least we had 2 days off, though.
Yeah, come on, man. Joe, you know that don't matter.
You should. We haven't played since Sunday.
And God forbid the Sacramento game is like we don't put that game on early. We don't put that game out early. We have to play to the last minute.
Of course, we don't never put teams away early. That's not our MO. Has it been?
Yeah, but those are 5 very winnable games. So hopefully,
well, the Warriors are just a little above 500. They haven't been playing that well. They lost their last game, so we could definitely get them.
The thing is, they don't play that well, but they have guys who are annoying to us, like who usually play well against us.
That's true.
Even if they're on a bad team, or even if the team is not doing well, but those guys they come up for the Knicks.
And plus, it's the last game on a long West Coast road trip, so
yeah,
it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to run the stats. I like running the stats because it gives me a sense of what they like to do offensively and defensively. Like, are they a good defensive team? Are they a good offensive team? How many 2s versus 3s do they take? I didn't get a chance to do any of that. So this is just off the top. Golden State on the back, the second half of a back-to-back is going to be tough. I think Phoenix is going to be tough too. That's almost like a road game, even though you're home, right? 4 games on the road, and you come home to Phoenix. I don't think that's going to be an easy game for the Knicks as well. They they definitely could go 5-0. I'm gonna say 4-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if they went 3-2.
Same with me. Could definitely go 5-0. I think they're going 4-1. I wouldn't be shocked at 3-2 either. The way they've been playing, I wouldn't be shocked at 2-3. We've been playing. That's the way that we've been playing, man.
Nah, we go at least 4-1, man. That one game, shout out to JJ, said the Warriors because it's a back-to-back. And I agree with that, man. That's really Jerrell. Even though he had 2 days off, don't matter. You know them guys. They come the next night. You know they got to travel. They got to finish, even though it's only in Sacramento, but it's still a trip. you know.
Yeah.
So
Here for Sacramento too. Where they play in San Francisco.
Yeah. Sacramento. No.
Sacramento to San Francisco. The Warriors play in San Francisco. Yeah.
Mm.
They play in the Bay. But I mean, it's a trip. It's not a long trip, but it's a trip.
Break forever. We have Josh Hart back. I think we are coming for victory. Listen,
That's right.
don't. Size 9 is like, what are you talking about?
Impactful Josh Hart.
Back.
Impactful Josh Hart came back.
That's nice. Like send him packing, him and Mitch. We don't need rebounding.
He said all that.
No, Josh. I mean, Ajay reading into a little bit. February is gonna be tough.
Yeah. I remember we did look at the rest of the season. The second half of the season schedule is tough compared to the first half. So we'll see what this team is really made of.
The Knicks lose to the Nets. Is that a home game? It don't even matter. I don't.
It is a true home game. It's MSG.
A true home game. I see what you did there.
Oh boy.
Queen, like listen, man. You think Brooklyn's bad? You go to a game. in when we play in the Wizards. Man, 90% of jerseys in there are Knicks jerseys. Man.
Remember we was at the game last? Was it last?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah,
it's like my God, it's Knicks jersey all over the place, man.
The Knicks played them twice that weekend. I think it was like a Friday and a Sunday, or a Thursday and a Saturday, or something like that.
Yeah,
we did not talk about it. Now they got Trae Young. We didn't talk about that at all.
And how I think Atlanta will be better. The Knicks are what? Let me look.
We still second.
Second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're still second. 3.5 game behind.
But Boston and Toronto was breathing down our necks.
Sixers too.
And this,
the Hawks is playing right now.
Yeah. One game. We're 1 game ahead of Boston and 2 games ahead of Toronto. So we go out there and we 3-2.
Right. We could be the 4th seed. Happen fast, man.
Yeah, it does. It does. Anyway, any shout out to the chat. Rick James, JM3000, size 9, appreciate you. HRMX great, I appreciate you. Break forever.
Jabroni.
Thank you for rocking with us, JJ. You already know. The Flying Grayson. We got some new people in the chat that's been coming back. We appreciate you. Welcome to the fam.
Yeah, to the collective. To the collective.
The collective. Welcome to the collective, right? And
Break forever, Midchild, D Grant, of course, Flying Grayson. A Train was here earlier.
A Train. Sherwin,
yeah.
Sherwin, he got out before we started talking about Mitch. He said, listen, I
think he got out because we started talking about Mitch. I peeped it. I peeped it.
Nick Nation, we miss you on the panel. You know you're welcome anytime. We appreciate you.
Word.
And Knicks Nation, we appreciate you as well.
Salute.
Knicks
Rand-
Nation, is that 1127 yours or did YouTube add that?
YouTube.
Probably added.
YouTube. Man, YouTube got us confused, man. Shout out to Randu 1973. Is that 1973 YouTube? I feel like Randu always had that 1973 in his name.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
Rebuild NYK 1076986. No, I'm kidding.
Andrew K. Shout out to Andrew K. Always rocking with us too.
Size 9 is just size. It's just size and an underscore. That 9 don't count.
Greg was in the building early. We appreciate you. Jess Nix, we appreciate you as well. Coach was in the building. Appreciate
Oh
you.
yeah, I saw Coach in there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jabroni, I appreciate. Sometimes you got to scroll all the way back. Kev Berg, I appreciate you.
Boy, Jabroni was really active, man. Jabroni.
Yeah, I think Wonder
Woman was in the house. Salute,
Yeah, Wonder Woman always in the house, man. Shout out to Wonder Woman. Man.
I think Kareem might have been too early on.
Did I see Kareem?
I thought I
Nah,
did.
shout out to you, Kareem, wherever you are, even if you weren't in here tonight.
Yeah, salute to Kareem.
Queen, we have people are always here. Like sometimes they just like drop one or two comments and then, but you know they roaming around just like listening. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure,
Mhm.
for sure.
That's what I do when Steph come on. When y'all come on during the day, I don't be arguing with folks. I be in the chat chilling.
Right, right.
Give my little salutes. Listen to the show.
Listen to the show. Yeah, I do that when I listen to Divine and them pregame.
I just be
Pregame
listening.
show.
I'm in it all the time. I just listen.
Yeah, I
Queen.
just listen to.
Queen,
Yeah.
do you comment when you're listening to the when you marauding over there on with the Cleveland show?
We are good. We are good. Being a double agent. Steph.
You got you active on their chat too?
Man, the chat don't be knowing you. The chat don't be knowing you be playing hooky and be going to other teams' chats.
I know, right?
I just love their chemistry, you know. So I haven't watched them in a long time. I haven't watched them in maybe
What's a
over a
long time?
month.
What's a long time? 2 days?
No, like over a month. I think the last time I tuned in was when we were about to play Cleveland. So that was when Christmas.
Yeah, we played them for Christmas.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then that wasn't. They be going in though. I love them. They ain't
We
no
know,
key for the
we
fever
know.
over there.
Salute to them.
Salute to them. All right. Any last words?
Ah, man, salute to the chat.
Hit that like button on at
1
least on the
hour.
way out if you didn't hit it yet.
Working in the back.
Yeah, hopefully this time next week the Giants will have a head coach.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'll be either very, very happy or very, very sad.
Or very, very pissed.
Yeah, or pissed.
Yeah. My Giants, man, they just turned into the Jets. You know, they just turned.
Sad to say it.
Yeah.
Rick James, 4-1, or we riot
Yeah.
on the next 5 games.
Sounds about right.
No, 5-0, baby.
All it takes is that one loss.
Right.
Everybody can riot after that.
So we play Wednesday and Thursday. So
Mhm.
I think Jeff and I will be back Thursday. I'm not sure Jeff can make it Friday, but we'll be Thursday, 12:30 will be the recap of the Sacramento game. Friday, I may have to go early. I'll see to recap the Golden State game. And then we play Saturday, right? So that'll be Sunday. Definitely it'll be 10 o'clock. Anybody who want to co-host with me on Sunday, let me know. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard time.
Calling Nick Nation. Calling Nick Nation.
Stuff be doing them collection plate hours on Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I know you managed right. He probably ain't even coming on now. Nick Nation. I pissed him off. Mitch
Yo,
trade.
Nick Nation said you hurt his soul when you said that.
He only said, "You can forget it, Queen. I'm not coming on with you on Sunday or any
He
other."
said it felt like Steph stabbed him when she was talking about Mitch.
You heard the Knicks Nation brothers.
But I'm separating the impact from his impact. I'm not saying he's
Don't
not
matter.
impactful.
Don't
They're gonna hear
matter.
what they want to hear, right?
It don't matter.
All right. It wasn't too bad. He said, "I'll be there." Don't talk to me about Mitch. As long as you don't talk about Mitch, we're gonna be good.
Here you go. Come on the live with a little blood on his shirt right here. You see how you stab me right here, stab? Talk about Mitch.
A little stain.
Little blood stain right there, a little stabby stab right there. Stab me in the heart over Mitch, man.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Jabroni. People get like that about Deuce too. It's almost every time. As long as we draft them, there is a hive for that person.
Yeah.
The Knicks should sign Deuce too. Is this the last year of his contract or next year?
It got to be coming soon. If it's not this year,
it's next year though.
Got to be coming soon.
Okay. So, but he's eligible for an extension. I think he is under contract next year, but he's eligible for an extension as well.
Quinn, would you extend him?
I would extend now. Early in the season?
See.
No.
See.
But since then?
Any last words?
To the end of the season?
You about to have this chat about to riot us talk about getting rid of Deuce McBride. Now, we already talked about getting rid of him.
I said earlier in the season, I would not have extended Deuce. But I'm saying the way he's played of late, I would.
See, but they saying that your mind can change back if he miss a couple threes, so they're not trying to hear that stuff.
I mean, that's a fair point. That is this a good stretch or has McBride crossed over? And this is who he is. You know, remember we said that about OG. I thought OG had crossed over.
Yeah,
his contract.
This is OG.
He's good for 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28. He's unrestricted free agent.
For real. For real. And everybody's going to say,
you hate him.
He's impactful. And I'm acknowledging that he's impactful, but they're not going to hear that.
And you just hating. Even though I said the exact same thing, you just said it in a lot more words and went into detail because we completely agree on it. And Geoff agreed too, and he's the biggest Mitch fan there is. Right, but they're going to say you hate him.
I'm fine. I'm built for it. What did Randall say? He said I'm built for it.
Negative Nancy. Remember you? Somebody called you Negative Nancy.
Oh my God, that was my name. The first
Negative Nancy.
That was my name.
I
might have earned it. I might have earned it back then.
Man, please. All them players, none of them play on the team though, boy. You was good stuff. You was actually right about everybody. Everybody that you talked about, we got rid of.
I was like, y'all acting like we got the OKC core.
Right.
Oh, we got to keep them. I was like, look, if I'm good. And remember, this was before Bradley Beal fell off a cliff.
Remember, I argued about Cam Reddish for about 3 weeks.
Right.
After that, I refused to argue about him anymore.
I had high hopes. I had high hopes for Cam Reddish, though. What the hell?
Well, me too.
Yeah. I
had complete high hopes for Cam Reddish. I've been watching him play for a very long time. He all the talent in the world. He just not connecting.
And then everybody we was getting on Thibodeau about, they out the league.
Yep.
Fournier, Reddish, Kimba.
Yep.
You know?
Yo, man, Cam Reddish playing in Lithuania, man. Jesus.
Hey, man, gotta get that bread.
Yeah. Cam, he did have all the talent, but he was just too
all the talent in the world.
School, you know. Anyway, Jerrell, Ajay, the chat. Oh, the chat. You guys smoking.
They were hilarious today.
Yeah.
Shout out to Geoff. I had to leave a little bit early, like a few minutes earlier. So
yeah, shout out to Geoff. The replay gang, I appreciate you. I'll get to the rest of the comments this weekend, but they was in there heavy too. Yes, I appreciate you guys, and then also the silent listeners. We appreciate you as well.
Yep.
Until next time, family. Peace.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Go so.
Where you at? Where you at?